Hi everyone, it's Christine, your lovable global muse, and welcome to the Vortex, everyone. We're bringing you our uploads from our downloads. So if you guys missed our last two videos, this is actually video 3 and part 3 of the conclusion of the hero's journey. And this is where we're going to be talking about stages 9 through 12 of Joseph Campbell's 12 stages of the hero's journey, and how it correlates to the movie The Wizard of Oz, and how I pretty much relate it to our own hero's journey on our own path in life. So hold on, everyone, as we journey back home somewhere over the rainbow. So in stage 9, everyone, which is rewards, it still takes place in what Joseph Campbell coins in as a special or extraordinary place. So when Dorothy and her companions finally actually defeat the anti-hero, which is the Wicked Witch, they're actually able to return to the wizard and claim their reward. And this reward can actually come in many forms. And in many cases, the reward can actually be something that's non-material and can bring either more knowledge or wisdom to the hero. And you're going to basically find out that overall, the hero is changed by receiving this reward. So in this case, the reward that the heroes receive is the true nature of the wizard. They discover that what he offered was actually an illusion, and that the things they thought that they lacked, like heart, wisdom, and courage, and the things they thought they were actually able to get from the wizard, was something that they had inside of them all along. And it was actually Toto that reveals what the wizard's true nature was, everyone. And this is pretty exciting because we kind of already established that Toto was the representation of Dorothy's source, soul, or guide. I mean, after all, he was in both her ordinary and extraordinary world. And he's even with her throughout the journey, throughout all different facets of it and in different levels. So we can kind of see how he follows her in that way, where he's really an important part of her life. So this discovery of the wizard to me, guys, was actually like discovering my shadow during my own inner child healing. So when we first start doing the inner work, everyone, the demons and the shadows that we face really can be frightening. I mean, like the wizard, he's giving us this illusion that he's great and mighty and something to be feared. But like in The Wizard of Oz, it's really our soul's journey that uncovers the true essence of that child inside of us. We start to see that some of the fears we're really having are really not so scary, you guys. Oftentimes, what's in us, what's in our core, is actually a well-meaning and innocent thing. It's learned to play by the rules of society and dream reality with its games and illusions. But really, what we're finding is it's really due to some form of survival mechanism that even behaves in the way that it does. So the wizard, is also the mentor that teaches Dorothy and her companions that the world is an illusion. He also gives them the true gift, though, which is all they want and need, is something found within themselves. So in stage 10, everyone, in the road back, the hero is finally able to go back to something she's always been longing for since her journey began. It's actually the call of adventure and more like the call home. And this is where the wizard tries to take her back from the way that he came, which was in a hot air balloon. But Dorothy's dog Toto, once again, decides to jump out as it starts to rise up. And Dorothy, of course, goes with him, so she misses her chance to go home. So like Dorothy, everyone, we kind of go through this journey first realizing our own awakening, and then we start to struggle with how to navigate in the dream world. We're wanting to go back home to the things that we long for and that are our core. And in Dorothy's case, this is her family and her friends back home in Kansas. And even though, everyone, we know that we want the path back, it's also not necessarily always the most easy path. Sometimes we need to go through things like stage 11, everyone, which is resurrection or atonement, before we really can reach that path home. So in stage 11, everyone, the hero may encounter yet another climax, a final conflict where the hero uses everything that is gained on its journey to overcome the final conflict. It's here, everyone, where the ultimate change for the hero is being experienced. So even though she misses her balloon ride with the wizard, all is not lost, because during that time, Dorothy's first mentor from the extraordinary world, which is Glinda the Good Witch, she actually returns. So although in the story, everyone, Glinda kind of seems a little bit elusive in Dorothy's experience, she was actually there when it mattered. I mean, she was actually there in the poppy fields with the Scarecrow, who I always say is seeking mind and brain, and he's a representation of that. So she was there and helping him to stay focused and be able to kind of help everyone else wake up. So to me, this is really an example of where you see a mentor use the mind aspect to help the rest of the aspects of the hero to wake up. And I thought that was kind of a really neat realization. So the Glinda the Good Witch, she actually tells Dorothy that she had the path home with her all along. And of course, that was in herself. And that she could cross the worlds whenever she wanted, just with the desire to do so. And that's pretty much how the Ruby Slippers worked, everyone. Here, Dorothy awakens or resurrects from her simple character she was in from the very beginning of the story to a more complex and empowered character that knows now that she has the power to do what she needs. And it doesn't come from anything outside of herself. So in our own hero's journey and awakening, everyone, we too go through this transformational period from the person we were from the very beginning of our story. In our own self-discovery, we find the lost pieces of ourselves. We find our heart. We can gain some wisdom and courage. We actually start to realize the illusions of our own dream reality. And sometimes we even start to atone from our past life that we lived before we moved on to the next. So when we start coming closer to who we are in Source, that's when we become more empowered, everyone. That's when we learn that we can go home at any time, and not through any other means, but within ourselves. That's because the veil between Source and Dreamworld, everyone, is really that simple. To go in and out of Source and Light, and to go in between there and dream reality, it can actually be instantaneous if you want it to be, because they really do exist together on the same plane. We only need to just believe we can exist there. Then we just do. So, oftentimes, everyone, we look outside of ourselves and we believe that the path to light and source is up there, or with him, or with her. And you guys, the truth is, it's always been here all along. And so the final stage, which is stage 12 of the hero's journey, everyone, is the hero returns home to her ordinary world. But she returns changed. So Dorothy not only awakens back to her home in Kansas, but she realizes her companions were there with her too, just in a different form. Of course, Toto never really changes. He's just Toto. And because they all exist in the ordinary now, everything is still in black and white. They no longer remember the extraordinary experience. In fact, they tell her this is all just a dream, or what she experienced was just a dream. So the takeaway in this, everyone, is it really is all about the journey. In order for Dorothy to finally become the person who wakes up knowing about the Land of Oz and returning to tell about it, she had to go on her journey to find those lost pieces of herself and defeat her shadows, like the Wicked Witch and the Flying Monkeys. And she needed to discover for herself and realize what was true and what was the illusions in her dream reality. And when she finally discovers this, everyone, that's when she understands the true nature of herself. And that's when she can really believe that she had it in her all along to go back home. So even when we re-enter back into our dream reality, everyone, because honestly, we still all exist on Earth, we are changed, and we choose to awaken when that happens, the things and the people around us may not necessarily change, but we have. And we've seen things and we know things that help us navigate in both worlds, both spiritual and material. So, like in our own awakening, everyone, when we've reached the peak of our own journey, usually after the dark night of the soul or our own inner struggles, we finally come to the realization that we all just want to go back home, back to self, and back to our source. And some of us who believe in the afterlife, heaven, or returning to source, we have the experience where we get a glimpse of what that looks and feels like. But the truth is, we all have a piece of that source in us, everyone. So when we awaken that part of us which comes from source, all we're doing is re-experiencing and remembering where we came from. And we just start to yearn for that place again. So rather than living unconsciously in our dream reality, we start to live purposefully. And we realize we can affect our ordinary world just as much as we were able to affect our extraordinary. So I definitely just want to end on this note, everyone, that we all have our hero's journey here on earth. Each story is going to look different. And that's what's really so beautiful about the experience, is that there really is no right or wrong. It is what it is. We're just meant to experience what we do. But if we truly start to realize we are the heroes of our own story, we start to feel more empowered. And we start to realize that we actually can make a difference. We start to care about the characters in our story too. And sometimes if we look hard enough, we can see how we decided to write some of the things we didn't like about our narrative and the other characters in it. And we realize that we can even rewrite all of that if we really wanted to. Because it really is our narrative, everyone. And when we finally go through the hard parts of our own journey, the ability to pass between worlds, between our dream reality and our capital R reality, it's really as simple as a click of the heels. So I really enjoyed sharing this topic with everyone. I mean, I really hope we can all come to realize that there really is no place like home. These experiences I share with you are just some of the things that I really care about. The hero's journey to me has always been a way to explain life, and I think it does it magnificently. And I know that everyone's story is different. That's part of the reason why I use storytelling as a mode for me, because it really is an effective thing. Definitely thank you so much for coming out and joining me today. We're going to have so many more amazing and fun things in the future. So please like and subscribe so you can just keep updated on everything that we're doing. I'm going to be finishing my life coaching certification pretty soon. I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to start taking clients. Definitely tune in for that, you guys. And other than that, I want you guys to have an amazing day. Wherever you are and whatever is going on in your life, just remember you are your own hero and your own story. So write it magnificently. Thank you so much, everyone. You have an amazing day. Bye-bye.